So I'm at the pythontutor.com visualize again because I want to show you guys how this works. So we're going to set up a class for our Python, and let's do class, oops, it's not typing, there we go, class vehicle. Hopefully I spelled that right, but if I spell it wrong, as long as I spell it wrong the same way every time. I'm going to use objects, and we're going to cover more of why we use that later. And we'll do our documentation string, which I expect from you. So this is going to create a vehicle, and that's surrounded or encapsulated with 3 double quote marks. And then we're going to define a function just like we did before. We've got a nice little function here, and it's going to print, and we'll make it make a noise. So we'll do our escape character, and we'll multiply it times the number of times we want it to do this. So in our definition of our function, we've got def honk. Inside of an instance or inside a class, an instance method needs to have the word self as the very first argument. So all of your instance methods are going to have self in them, whether it takes anything or not. It's just going to have self. And then we're also going to take in times, because we want to know how many times we want to beep. And our class, we said class for the keyword class. The name of our class, which is vehicle. And Pascal case is what they want you to use. That's the common method. So if we said vehicle definition, you'd see that it would be all uppercase capital letters for each beginning word, or the beginning of each word. But I'm just going to go with vehicle. So that is our instance method. Methods are really functions inside of a class. They just are hooked to that class. And I'm going to give it an attribute. So our vehicle can have so many doors. Let's say right now the doors are set to none. And none is that neutral setting. It essentially tells it right now you don't have a type. You're not string, int, float. You're just a placeholder. If you had done doors equals empty quotes, it would be an empty string, or a string with a space in the middle, depending on how you did your empty quotes, whether it was empty really, or whether it had a space in it. So let's do windows, and again none, so it's a neutral. And that's our class for right now. So we have a class. It has 2 attributes, doors and windows, and it has a method, honk. So we're going to honk a few times at somebody. Let's create an object based off of this class. So we're going to say a car. Our car is equal to vehicle, and parentheses, because it's a class. So it can take things in it, and we're just going to say that. That essentially says this is a new class, or a new object of that class. So it's a new object of the class. And if we were to print car right now, let's go ahead and visualize this. We should see, oh, look over here on the right, it's saying we have created a global frame. So in the global context throughout the whole program, we can access this. We have a thing called a vehicle. It understands that vehicle is a class. It has attributes, and I can hide them or show them. And doors currently are none. Honk is a function, so it's a method inside our class. Honk is self, and times are the arguments. And the windows are none. So far so good. It created one, so when we do next, car equals vehicle just ran. We now have a car, which is global, and it's a vehicle empty instance. We haven't populated it with anything, but it's standing there holding it just in case we want it. And we go forward again, and it says, hey, we've got this object. We don't have anything in it, but we have an object. Perfect. Let's go back and edit the code. So I'm going to take that and comment it out because I don't need it anymore, but it's nice to have it kicking around so you can see what I did. And we're going to have it tell car to honk. So car.honk. And we'll pass in a 3. So what this should do is tell car, it's using the method inside vehicle that was defined in vehicle class, and it's going to pass in 3, so times is going to get the number 3, so it's going to go beep, beep, beep 3 times. And we didn't have to rewrite the method, so we've saved space. I've created car, The method exists somewhere, but I don't have to rewrite it. I just have to call it. Let's set some of the attributes while we're at this too. So we've got doors. So car.doors, that's the dot notation. So we're hooking them together using the period. And we'll say there's 4 doors, and car.windows, let's see, that would be windshield, 4 doors, and a back windshield, a back window. So that's 6. So if we say print, this vehicle has quotes, plus, because we're going to put stuff together, string, because I know our car windows are an int right now, so we're going to convert it using the string conversion function. And we'll do space windows. And let's do the same thing. So plus string conversion for car.doors plus quote space doors period quote end of parentheses. Let's go see how that works. Alright, so right now we don't have anything. If we look on our right hand side, it's reset everything. We've just created a class called vehicle. Vehicle has doors, which is at neutral right now. It has nothing in it. Honk is a function. It's a method inside our class. Windows are nothing, so we go step forward and we create an instant of car. Car is currently empty. Watch that. That'll change. It puts honk into our empty instance. So you see the blue section that says honk, calls itself and sticks it into the vehicle empty instance. And it recognizes the 3 times. And when we go forward once, it will say, what do you want to do? Because it's referred back to the class. You'll notice it up in the code. It referred back to the class and said, what's honk? Honk is this. Okay, we'll do this. Forward, and we get 3 little squares down in our program output because we're doing a simulation and it's not actually going to honk. If we step forward again, it goes back and it says, okay, I let go of honk because I don't need it right now. But you asked me to add car doors to have 4, and you'll now see that car has a vehicle instance and doors, the attribute, now has 4 saved in it. Same thing for windows. It just added the windows attribute to car and put 6 in it. So our car object has just used the methods out of the class and taken those 2 attributes and been able to make it its own. And we have this car has 6 windows and 4 doors. So let's add another object. Let's make another instance of the class. So we'll say coupe. Coupes have 2 doors usually. So coupe is another vehicle. Don't forget the parentheses. In a coupe, let's see, how many times are you going to make your coupe honk? How about 2? And coupe is going to have, oh, how many doors do you want it to have? Coupes have 2 doors. And coupes also have 4 windows because they only have 2 doors. Now if we take that same line from our print, I'm going to copy it and paste it because I'm lazy, and I'm going to change car to coupe because everything's the same. And we're going to go ahead and have a look at this. So we've got our class, same as always. We've got our empty vehicle, which is for car. So our car has got an empty instance of the object, the class. It starts populating itself as we go down through. We now have 4 doors, 6 windows. It prints it out. This is good. Coupe becomes part of it. So now you see we have a vehicle class, we have a car coupe, we have a car and a coupe. And coupe is saying, hey, I don't have anything in me yet, but car is maintaining its values. Coupe just honked twice, and coupe is now going to populate with 2 doors and 4 windows. And so they are holding themselves in memory, referring off of the class. And I don't have to write the function or the method honk 3 times, once for the class, once for car, and once for coupe. Coupe and car just use vehicles. And so you saved some code. You saved some space in your program. And you don't have to worry about whether or not you wrote it right each time. So that's kind of one of the uses of having classes. They're a framework to build other objects off of, and you can modify them and improve them or not. Sometimes you make them worse, but you can make them different. So I will see you guys again, and be sure to post any questions you have in the discussion boards.